Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today I thought I'll attempt to show you how to make this little file. It's the one that I showed in where I was showing all my digital papers, the new kits, and I showed you what I did with them. So I've used the grungy paper on this one and the assorted journal cards as well, so I sort of combined the both. So, and a few of you have been asking me to show you how to make it, so I thought I would attempt that today. Okay, so it's just it's an A4 size, which is the standard size that I print my digital kits on. Now I know in America there are a different size, but only slightly. So you just need to, I won't give you too many measurements because it will be slightly different. So as you open it up, I'm sure you've seen it anyway. So we've got a little flap here and a couple of pockets with the little journal cards in it. And on this side in the middle we've got the little journal pages there for you to journal on, which I've just tied with a little bit of ribbon, with a little bit of lace. And then we've got a nice big pocket in the middle here to pop the cards in. You can put whatever you like in it, but it's just sort of like, I'm just going to show you the basics how to make it. And then we've got another flap there with a pocket, that's the front bit, and then on the back I've got two pockets on the back like that. Okay, so I've tried to sort of like make as much of the bits that I can so it's not too long and too boring for you. So I'm going to pop that to the side. I'm going to show you what I've got. I've got some of the lace which I'm going to use. I've got some seam binding which I've actually tea stained and coffee stained. I think I did both on that one, so that's ready to use. I've got some little strips here which is for reinforcing the little hingey bits on here, and this is just sort of like a calico fabric, but you can use anything that's quite strong. So we've got 6 pieces of that, so I'll put that to the side. I've got a piece of cheesecloth, and that's to go on the front, and then I've tried to sort of cut everything up ready to go. So to start with, for the main folder, what I've done, I've stuck 2 sheets of paper, one on either side of a piece of card. Okay, and that's the size of the paper that you will print out, and I've just cut the white edges off. Okay, so you need, altogether you need 5 pieces of paper. So you've got one on the front, one on the back, and then this one here which goes, I think, whichever way, which I think is like that, because I'm going to cut that down. So you've got one on that side and one on that side, and I've just cut a section off, okay, which is about 4.5 inches, and that's just to make the little flaps. And then I've got another piece here, and this is just using one piece of paper which I've cut in half, and you put half on the front and half on the back. Okay, so that uses 5 sheets of paper. Now to put it all together, so this will be your base, so whichever side you want, I think I'll have that on the inside, and then you have, this goes along here like that, so we attach a strip down there and then a strip down here, that folds in like that, and then that folds in like that, and then we have this piece which folds in like that. Okay, and then we put that all together. So I will measure it and show you what size that I've actually come out with on this one. So that's 8 inches by just over 11 and 1/8, so that is, and then I've cut this one to just over 4.5, and then this one is 6.5, so that's the one with the 2 flaps at the end, and then this front pocket one is 5.5, and they're all going to be 8 inches that way. So that's the sizing of those. And then I've also done all the little pockets as well, and so what I'm going to do, I've popped them out and I've actually sewn around them ready to go. So I'm going to pop this all together first. So we're going to take the main piece here, Okay, so this is the main bit, and then we're going to take this one here, which is part of the big one, and we're going to stick that together, and we're going to stick that with one of these along there. Okay, and all as I'm going to, because I'm going to sew this, all as I've got my glue stick. You want to leave a tiny little gap just so that it will fold up. So you want a bit of glue either side. Get this down. I just use a little bit of glue stick before I sew, and that just holds it in place. So I'm going to pop this down here like that. Make sure it's in place. So you put one on the front and then you put one on the back. Okay. Make sure that's stuck down nicely. And then you just pop a little bit of glue over the top, and then we stick another one down like this. Okay, and then what I do, I just sew up either side like that just to keep it together, and that just makes the little hinge. So I'm going to do that on all of them. So that goes this way like that, and then I'm going to do this one, which is the little one at the end that folds in. So this just goes down. If you don't have a sewing machine and you don't sew, then just make sure that you glue it with something that's going to stick these hinges down, so it doesn't come apart. You could actually probably hinge it with some paper, some thick paper as well, if you didn't have any fabric that you could use. So these go in like that. And again, just turn this over like that. Just move that slightly, just so we've got a little gap you can see in the middle there. And we pop another, make sure we're level. But then again, it doesn't have to be perfect, because we are crafters, and it needs to look sort of like so it's handmade. So don't worry if it's a little bit wibbly wobbly. I think that just adds to it. So that's on that side. So then we do this, and then I won't fold it in because it will come undone. So that just folds in, and that one folds into this side. And then on this side here, I hope this is making sense. That one just folds in like that. So we need to pop another piece of glue, or another little bit of glue down here on both sides like this, and put this on top down there. I'm going to turn this one over. You can also, that's come undone, but what you can do, you can stick and sew them separately, or not separately, but do this one first and then go and sew it, and then attach the other one and sew it. So take a little bit more time than me when you're making it. And this is the last one, so you need 6 of these strips like that, so that goes down there. So that holds it all together. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly go and, oops, I've just folded that one over. I'm just going to quickly go and sew these down. So I'm just going to go and sew all the way down, just 2 strips either side like that, just to hold that in place. So I will be back in 2 seconds. So that's all sewn together. So these just fold in. So I've just sewn these down through here. So that just folds up like that, and that one folds over like that. So I think that looks really nice. And these hinges are brilliant because it's fabric. They're just they're not going to sort of rip or anything. So I'm just going to cut the little straggly bits off here. Oopsie daisy. Just to tidy it up a little bit, like that. Okay, so that's good. good. So what I'm going to do now, there is a little bit of sewing in this, but only a little bit, not too much. So I've already sewn these ones here. So, and I'm going to just glue these in. So first pocket, I'm just going to pop it, I hope you can see this. The first pocket is this one. So what I've done, I've just cut one of the little assorted journaling cards. I'm using this one, but again you can use whichever ones you like. Cut it out, and I've just rounded the corner with my little corner punch here. So is the one I use, and I've just sewn around this one, which is like a little bit of a ziggy-zaggy stitch. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stick it down on this corner here. Okay, and I'm going to use a little bit of the 3-in-1 just to hold it down, because again, put a little bit more 3-in-1 or whatever glue you're going to use if you're not going to sew, just to make sure it doesn't come off. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of this on here. Let me pop that down there. So that's going to be stuck on there, like that. And then it will be held down properly when we sew it round. And then on this one, I think I put this one, let me have a quick check. Doesn't have to be exactly the same, but yes, I did. And also I popped on a little bit of this. Now you can either sew this on or glue it on afterwards. So what I might do, which I was going to sew around this one, which I didn't, so I might just sew this on here, not sew it, stick this little bit down. So we've got a little bit of lace over the top, just a tiny bit on there. Then I'm going to sew around that in a minute. I don't think I put any glue on this bit. That's better. So that just goes on there. And when you sew along the top, because this paper, I've printed these onto 160 gram paper. And when you sew sort of like along the top and you pop a little bit of lace or ribbon, it just sort of like reinforces this top piece, so it doesn't sort of rip, because obviously the thinner the paper, the more it's likely to rip. So, and then what I'm going to do, I'll sew that in a minute. I'll go and sew that around, but that's going to be that one for that pocket. Let's take that off. Alright, this one I've done for this pocket here on this side. So I've done exactly the same thing. I've sewn around the outside and I just took the corner off. I took the corner off first and with the corner punch and then sewed around it. And then what we'll do, we just add a little bit of glue and stick this pocket down like that. So that just sticks on there. Like that. Okay, perfect. And then for the middle pocket here, put the lid on there. So put those to the side. For the middle pocket, these are just pieces of the grungy rose paper that I've got. Those two are for the back pocket, and this one is for the front, for the inside pocket. So I've just got a piece of the paper like that, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop that over the top like that, just so it gives it a nice front to it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just glue this down, just the middle bit down, and I'm going to sew around this piece before I stick it on, before I stick the actual pocket on. I'm going to pop that on there like that, just so it's caught in the middle. And then I'm going to take a little bit of cheesecloth, which I got here, just cut a few little bits off. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just pop it underneath. So if you don't stick it all the way down, you can just get some bits and just stick it under here like that, just so it pokes out like that. Get a little bit of this to hold it in place, a little bit of glue stick, just to squidge it down like that, so that when it's sewn on here like that, that will hold it in place. And I'm going to pop a little bit on this side, just scrunch this up like this, just to make it a little bit more sort of shabby. And then what I'm going to do, lift that up a little bit, pop some glue stick down, pop this just so it sort of like scrunches up, just to give it a little bit of texture either side. And then I'm going to sew all the way around here as well. Okay, so did I put some lace? I think I actually might pop a little bit of this over the top there, I think. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sew this all the way around the outside. I'm going to sew this, which is around here like that, to hold, for that to be held on, and then I'm going to sew this piece along the top there. I'm going to sew around here like that. I need to sew this piece on first, so I will be back in 2 minutes. Okay, so I have sewn around this one, lots of bits of cotton, and this one. So let's just chop these little extra bits off like that. Oopsie daisy. So when you stick it on, I'm going to stick these on, so once you've stitched around it, so it's almost like a little faux pocket, so it looks like you've stitched it on. But I'm going to just actually stick it instead of stitching it, but I quite like the stitch marks around there, and I've just stitched that on. I'm going to get my 3-in-1 and stick this little pocket on. So I think the best thing to do when you do these things is get everything together. I think I've said this before, and then it's almost just like putting it all together really. So once you've got everything done and cut out and sewn, it's just sort of like the easy bit, and it comes together really quickly then, and it's really satisfying because you can actually see that you're actually making something, and it's quite quick and easy. It's just a little bit of preparation. So there we go, that's the little pocket there, so that's nice. And then we've got the little pocket in the middle. Let's cut all these bits of cotton off. Look at the mess, a bit messy. My needle, the cotton broke and I was halfway through sewing it, so it's made a bit of a mess on there, but it doesn't matter because it's the back. So let's just chop that off so it looks a bit tidy. So I think that looks really nice because I just sewed a little journal card on there, and then the ribbon over the top, and then what we're going to do is just stick that down, and I think that looks really nice on there. So nice blob of glue like that, sticking it down. There we go, and then that will just sit on there. Now what you can do, you can put it right level with the bottom of this if you want to, and sew along so it holds it in place, which I think I may have done on the other one, but I'm just going to stick this one down like this so it's all stuck down nice and tight. Let me have a look at this one. Oh no, I did. Yes, I did. I stuck this a little bit lower so it was right along the bottom, and I've just stitched it on, and then I put seam binding on that one. Oopsie daisy. So that's that one done. So let's pop that on there. So I think that looks really nice. So that's the 4 pockets. So we've got a pocket on each little section there, and that just folds up like that. So now we're going to do the back, and here I've got 2 pieces of paper. Alright, so that's just cut off one of the journaling sheet or the backing sheets like that. So I'm going to put that one there, and I'm going to put that one there. But again, you can put them wherever you like that or anything like that, or have different size pockets. But this will just give you a general idea like this on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this lovely ribbon again like this, and I'm going to stick a little piece over the top. Let's just move this out of the way. Pop a little bit of glue on here. Oops, so daisy. Like that. Pop a little bit of lace on top. This lace is so pretty. Such a soft one. I think I said before I got it from AliExpress, and it's a really, really lovely soft lace, which I absolutely love. Like that. So that's that one. Then we will put on the bigger pocket. There. So that's on there. I'll chop that off. So then we've got two pretty little pockets on there. So that goes on there like that. So what I'm going to do, I need to go and just quickly sew these. Stick those on like that. Quickly sew along. I'm going to sew all the way round again, just all the way around both of them. Okay, so there we go. I've sewn around the outside of these. Now my cotton keeps breaking for some reason. I think I got the tension wrong. Not that I fiddled with it, but it keeps breaking in there. So I need to have a look and see what I can do. But anyway, so that's those two done. So this will go onto the back like here. So again, I'm just going to stick this down like that, and then I'm going to stick this one over the top like that. So we've got two lovely little pockets. So I'm going to pop this on. Nice bit of glue. And because the paper's not too thick, it will stick down there lovely. You have a nice bit of glue. So where should we stick it? Look level-ish, doesn't it? So let's just stick that down. There we go. And pop this one over the top. Go like that. Perfect. So that's our pockets added. Just got to add one actually. I think we've got to do the front cover now. So that's stuck on there. Perfect. Lovely. So then we've got all our little bits to pop in there. So let's turn this round. Right, so that's the inside, and this way it goes. You can have it whichever way you want to have it. And then I'm going to pop it like this. Now we want to do the front, so this is the one that I had for the front. Let's just chop these little bits of cotton off there. That goes on there like that, and that just sits on top. So the first thing we're going to do is, what did I do with this? We need to make a little tie, don't we? And what I did before, let's make that flat here. This needs to go underneath, so I'm going to stick that underneath. And what I did, I'm just going to sew that. I wonder if I can just lift that up just a little bit. And I'm going to stick it under there and then sew over the top like that to hold it in. So let me take that out just so I can pop a little bit of glue in there. You can do this before and pop it into the sew it in if you want to do. I was going to pop a little bit of glue in there and then just push that down like that, and I will go over that as well in a minute. So this I'm going to just add a little bit of glue to stick it down, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to just eyeball this, so I'm going to take about that much, and then I shall measure that. So we want 2 of the same. Chop that piece off, pop that to the side, and then I'm going to do exactly the same this side. Like this. So it's going to be roughly there, so just lift that up a little bit. We want to pop a little bit of glue in there. I'm going to pop that in like that. So we can glue that down. I'm not going to stick this bit down because that's going to just stick like that. Perfect. And then what we do, that will just go into a little bow in the middle there. So that's our little closure. So open that piece out, because what we need to do now, I have to stick that on first because we're going to stick this one on top. So I'm just going to use a little bit of glue stick like that. Stick that on. Make sure that's down and pop that over the top like so. And we're going to stick that down with some 3-in-1. Now you could actually sew these on if you want. If you just put paper on this side and not on this side, you can sew it on, but I find it easier just to stick it on like this. So make sure I'm round the right way. So we have a nice blob of glue like this all the way around the outside. There we go. And I'll just stick that on top there. Make sure that's okay. Make sure we're sort of bring it over just a little bit so it's sort of in the middle. That's better. Stick it down like that. So there we go, that's that front bit. So I think that looks really nice. So it doesn't take very long. Once it's all ready and you've got all the bits and pieces together, it's just like making it all up then. Let's take this little straggly bit off there. And then we need a pocket on here, don't we? So what did we do? Did I have it here? I don't think I did. So pick any little postcard, because I've got them all here, look, all cut out, ready to go. But I think I picked that one because I quite liked it. I love this one. I absolutely love this one, but that's just a little bit too big to go on there. So I think I picked this one to go on there. So that goes on. Shall we put some of this on? Like that, so it matches in with the rest. I think we should. Like that. Pop it down. just going to quickly just sew around that a minute. Okay, so there we go, that's all sewn on there nicely. So I'm going to pop that onto there like that, I think, because I'm going to have a bit of seam binding. I think I'll use this around that edge. Right, so let's stick this on here like that. So that can go level. Stick that down, perfect. Let's put the lid on that. And then what I'm going to do is going to turn this over like that. So that's perfect. So I think that looks really nice. And then on the back we've got the two lovely little pockets on there. So what we need to do now, I think, is just pop something on this edge so it's not sort of like a raw edge. Okay, and then maybe on that one as well. Let's see, so what I think I might do, let's get a little bit of this. I think I might just put it around the side like that so it bends over. And I'm going to use a little bit of glue stick for this, like that. A little bit either side, like that, just to hold it down. Oopsie daisy. I hold it like this, and then I'm going to bend this over the top. Oops. Just like fold it over the top so it's either side. Like that, and stick it down. And the glue stick just holds it down enough for when you can sew it. So let's just chop that little bit off there. And that looks nice. It just finishes up the edge. I'm going to do the same on this one here. Like this. Let me turn it around there this way again. It might be a little bit easier for you to do when you don't have to keep it in shot of the camera. So I hope I'm still in shot. Let's stick that like that. Pop it down. Just fold it over the top like that. Chop that off. I can tidy that up a little bit later. And I think that looks good, doesn't it? Right, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sew it on there so it doesn't come off. I'm going to sew both of them on, so I will be back 2 seconds. Okay, so there we go. I've just gone down the edge like that, and I think that finishes it off nicely. Get these, and what I also did, I just sewed that in here, just a little zigzag stitch just to hold the little closure in, and a little bit of seam binding. Now let's just cut these extra little bits off. I know this one had a lot of sewing in it, but I think it's worth it because it looks really nice. So then we want to cut this little bit off, because that's on this piece there is where I sewed that piece in there, just so this doesn't come off. So that's the closure. So there we go. So that's all the little bits and pieces like that. So I think that looks really, really nice. Take all these little bits off. Now the only thing that you need to do now really is just go round the outside, all the way around the edge along here, with either a zigzag stitch or just a plain stitch. And then that's it. That is your little file ready to pop all your little bits and pieces in. So that just does up like that. So that's a nice lovely little long piece of seam binding, and I think it looks really lovely like that. So what I'm going to do, I shall fill up the little pockets. So this is all of them. So we had 45 pieces in this kit of all these little journaling cards, so it doesn't really matter. You can just pop them in randomly wherever you like them to go. And let's open this up. Pop a couple into this pocket of a beautiful butterfly like that. Nice big one in there. Move along, pop some in this one like this. Is a nice big one. The little ones I want to keep because they can go in the back pocket, because we've got a smaller one in the back. And then again we've got these beautiful shoes. Andy thinks I'm obsessed with these shoes, but I do think they're absolutely lovely. Pop a little swan in there, and then we pop a few more into this one here like that. Good little butterfly can go in there, and then we've got lots now to go in the back. So all these little ones can go in the smaller pocket here like this. That one's lovely. So now you've got lots and lots of journaling cards to pop in here. So again, you can put whatever you like in here. But that gives you an idea of how to make it. And then once you've got everything all cut out and ready to go, it doesn't take any time at all to pop it all together. So let's pop these in here like that. I think we've got some left. We've got lots and lots. We can just pop a few more on the inside like that. So there we go, guys. That's our lovely little file folder ready to go. All done up. Pop up this, pop the little bow like that. And it's all done, and then just don't forget to just sew all the way around the outside, and I think they are really lovely. So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I now have 2 of them. This one I've just ruffled up a little bit of seam binding and popped on there, but they were exactly the same. Oh, I tell you what, I've forgotten to put that in. Good job I looked. So let's open this out again so you could have it like that. I've got these ready to go as well, and I completely forgot. So they just go in there like that. So what I've done, this is A4 paper. I have 10 sheets which I folded in half, and what I did, I took off, I think, a little bit off the top. I think it was like a 1.5 centimeters. What that is in inches, I don't know. Let me look. So it's probably about 3/4 of an inch, but do measure it. I just took about 3/4 of an inch off the top. Do measure it, and that is what goes in there like that. And then I've just cut down the edge here. Just when you put them in, they tend to come out like that. So all as I did is to make it flat. Pop down your ruler like that. Get a little Stanley knife and just cut all the little bits off that stick out. Okay, so now we need to sew this in. So we have got our book, which I use, and then I've got my needle here and some wax thread. Let's pop that there for a second. So I normally do about 3 lengths of this, which is roughly about as much as you need. Oops. Tie that up. Pop those bits away. just thread this needle so we're all ready to go. So that's done. Now this is the tricky bit, because this is got lots of bits and pieces in. So what you want to do is find the middle of your signature and just pop it through here, just on the end, and just bend it up like that. Get your book, pop it in there, or get something that you make your holes in. Got my little tool here. I hope I'm in view. I do one hole in the middle. Oops, my camera just went off. Okay, so I've just put 3 holes in there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop this through like that. Take my book out from underneath. Now I'm going to just make sure I'm in the right place. And then we just do this and go through. If I can. In the right place, it's not going to go through. Let me get my little pokey tool again. There we go. Not doing it the easiest way. Right, now we've got to go up through here. Like that. There we go. Alright, put my needle away, because I will lose that otherwise. Right. Now we just need to sew this up like that. Not sew it, tie it in a knot. Like that. Now you can leave them dingling dangling down, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to cut them off like that and put them in. So there we go. We have the lovely little journaling bit inside there. So that's very quick and easy to do. And what I did, I got some of this lovely lace. But use whatever, if you're gonna, whatever you're gonna sort of like line your pockets with, try and sort of like use that and match it in. Now what I want to do, I want to pop this underneath here. So what have I got? We can just poke that through like that. I want it really like that. So it's level, and then I'm going to just tie this, zip cotton there, tie this in a little bow, and then we cut that piece off. Let's tie it in a better bow than that, and then this piece, so that's easy peasy, that just does up in a nice little bow, so when you want to write in it you can undo that, and then it's easy to just manage when it's tied up, and then you can get to all your little bits and pieces, and I think that looks really lovely. So there we go, now we're finished. So there we go, and then it just folds up like that, folds that way, and that folds in, and then we just do it up with the little bow like that. So there we are. Perfect. Now we're all finished. Okay guys, and then there we go, we can get this one out so we know that they're both the same. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said before, try and get all your bits and pieces cut out and ready to go, so then all you've got to do is sort of like assemble it all together, and it makes it a lot easier, a lot quicker and a lot easier to do. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. Alright guys, take care, bye bye.